your handedness is often can be a determining factor in life. That's crazy, isn't it? When you think about it, like left-handed people, they are consistently a 10%, regardless of us, the world removing this kind of, oh, it's bad to be left-handed. Previously there was this dexterity, but left-handed being, but there was this sinister, sorry, not dexterity, that was more with the right hand, the sinister associated with the left hand. But now the world has stopped that. Now they welcome you if you pick up the pen with the left hand. They're not going to say, put it down, that's the devil. But yet the 10%ers of the world, it's consistent. Left-handed people still remain at a 10% level, yet they are at times 50%, if not over 50%, of high kind of or significant people. I find that always very shocking, and that's like a it's interesting, and it's not necessarily inherited, because I'm left-handed. I'm ambidextrous. I can use both hands, but I'm left-handed primarily. And my parents, well, I don't know. My mother doesn't write, but I'm assuming my parents are both right-handed. They're both right-handed as far as I know. And everybody else in my family is all right-handed. So it's not inherited, and it doesn't depend on your parents being that. Although I think if your parent is left-handed, you have a greater chance of being left-handed, I think. But it's still unpredictable. But I find that amazing, though, isn't it? Because it correlates with the opposite side of your brain. So, so right-handed people, there's more of a pressure, or they're more dominant on their left side of the brain, and left-handed people are more dominant on the right side of the brain. And even though the brain is obviously interconnected, the hemispheres, but still there's a dominance. And and I actually do think that, when I was 18, I learned to write with my when I was about 17, 18, with my right hand. And I think that maybe changed certain mechanisms in my brain. This is why I say to people that you should learn to write with your left hand as well. I know you'll look totally you'll look like you can apply for a disability with the writing, but it'll get better. And I actually learned, because I used to take Arabic lessons, like when I mentioned, when I was learning Arabic. And I remember going to one of my teachers' homes, Sheikh Sidi Iqbal, a great, phenomenal scholar. Anybody who wants to learn Maliki fiqh should get in touch with him, by the way. Muhammad Iqbal lives in Birmingham in the UK, teaches online as well, I'm pretty sure, but he's a very private person. So phenomenal. One of the most, I would say, in the English-speaking world, one of the most learned people, especially on Maliki fiqh. Now, I would go to his house. I remember writing, and he said to me, he said, he said, oh, you write with your left hand? And I said, yeah. And he said, why don't you write with your right hand? And in hindsight, although it seems like such a silly question, one could say that question just seems like, now if somebody said that to me, I'll just burst out laughing, because I think, what a dumb question. But you know what? Sometimes I tell you, it is so. Some of the greatest achievements in life have been done based on ignorance, because being ignorant of the facts is what gives people courage to do things. On many occasions, I'm not saying everything. So like now, when he said that to me, I didn't know, left-handed people use the right hand, right side of the brain, and the right-handed people, and this is biological, and this is, I just knew I was left-handed. And he said to me, why don't you use your right hand? And I said, huh? What? And he goes, why not? And I said, okay. And I just from that day, I just went home and I just kept trying to write with my right hand. Obviously, for at least a few months, it looked like a 3-year-old had managed to get a pen and go on. It was like that was reminiscent of I was about to say the movie My Left Foot. Those of you that are old enough to remember that, but it was absolutely distorted, and it looked like, you know, some child doesn't know how to write. But then it started to improve, and and then it just got, you know, in Arabic still. In English, I didn't write as much in English with my right hand, so I can still write it, but it's not as good as my left hand. But Arabic, my right hand is as good. Like, you wouldn't generally, like, even if I write English, actually, you wouldn't be able to tell, but I could tell that. So, okay, people, there you go. So this is what I say to people: explore. You know, if you've got time on your hands, learn how to write with the other hand. You never know what you may unlock on the other side of the brain, because you're going to force your brain to create new neural networks. And this, you know, the neural circuitry has to kind of explode. So you never know, it may change other aspects of your life qualitatively.